Jim Ratcliffe met with staff at Old Trafford this week, and he met Ten Hag, he met Kappa reception, he met Hoyland, him and Dave Brailsford. They've got the meetings out of the way. Ineos, they haven't completed their takeover yet. They're waiting for it to be ratified, but they've wasted absolutely no time. And in this video, what I want to do is run through what Jim Ratcliffe said to Manchester United staff. The first time since at least 2005, by the way, that there has been a face-to-face meeting between owners of our club, part owners, whatever you want to call it, and staff. That's a first impression, and first impressions are important. Now, what I want to do is run through the Athletics article. The link is in the description, by the way. A fantastic article here, which gives some real detail and insight into exactly what was said. You can let me know what you think about the overall meeting and the talking points I think that meeting raises that we discuss in this video. Let's get straight into it, and let's waste absolutely no time. And straight to the top line. Jim Ratcliffe told United staff he is not concerned about making money from his investment and instead solely wants to return the club to winning the biggest trophies. Now, on the surface, there might be people saying, that's PR. That's what the fans want to hear. That's what he's going to tell the fans. But it's the truth. And also, it's what it should be at Manchester United. It's always annoyed me that the Glazers have somehow separated making money and success, when the truth is, when you are successful at something, you make more money. Success and money are intertwined. Somehow the Glazers have separated that notion and the concept that they can just make money off the pitch with the United being crap on it. It's just not true. But if Ratcliffe follow, and this mindset is the actual mindset that will change our club for the better. Because once United start focusing on trophies and start winning them and the success that follows and the commercial success and everything that follows, everybody wins. Of course, actions speak louder than words, but the words at the beginning are good from Ineos. That's what I would say. And also this I really, really liked. United's new co-owner said that the football team have been failing for the past decade and the Ineos era is determined to bring success by creating an elite environment. What Jim Ratcliffe is doing there, sitting alongside Dave Brailsford in front of all the staff at Old Trafford who are employed and paid by the Glazers, is saying to them, your bosses have been crap for a decade. Right there. Failures. All on their watch. And to do that in front of all the staff, I'll be honest, I quite liked it. It's a little bit, you could call it brash if you want. I mean, it is the unquestionable truth. But that's not what the Glazers have ever done. And that's why this next point is important here. Because what Ratcliffe is doing there is laying everything bare on the table. Putting back the plasters, seeing the wounds. And it really is a complete change of rhetoric from what the Glazers have always done. Only in September did Richard Arnold tell United staff, in that emergency meeting that happened after the Mason Greenwood situation, which I kind of followed with Richard Arnold basically being sacked, but walked first. In that meeting, he told staff that we're closer to making progress on City. And it's delusion or it's lies. It's probably a little bit of both, but it's just a lie. Whereas laying it bare is what Jim Ratcliffe and Dave Brailsford can do and have done. And I like that part. And also, look, you remember this quote from Ed Woodward back in, 2018? I'm going to go full screen on that one. Playing performance doesn't really have a meaningful impact on what we can do on the commercial side of the business. Yeah, right. Everybody knew that was a lie. It's been proven to be a lie. And I'm happy. It's going to be a really interesting dynamic, I'll be honest. Maybe not interesting. In fact, it's just, I don't know how it's going to work. Because you've got Jim Ratcliffe and Dave Brailsford basically explaining how bad the ownership has been for the last 10 years. And this is the same Glazers that had a go at Sheikh Jassim because he said he wanted to take United back to former glories. The same Glazers who have now signed a deal with, actually think about that. Is that going against the deal? It's not really bad mouthing. It's just true. United have just failed for so long, and going into it in even more detail, it just everything that Ineos and Ratcliffe are saying here is completely correct. This part here, Ratcliffe acknowledged that the club has shown commercial resilience, but made clear he would be measuring achievement by silverware rather than revenue, and everybody should focus on that priority. It must be music to the ears, especially the staff of United, which I imagine the majority of them are United fans, but being there, being in Old Trafford, being in Manchester, especially over these last 14 months when they didn't know what was going on, the takeover this, the takeover that, they didn't even know if they would have a job in the next week. United should focus on success, but success is a consequence of investment and planning, neither of which Manchester United's owners, the Glazers, have ever done. It's always been day to day, week to week, not even week to week, really. And there's never been any investment from them directly. That changes under Ratcliffe, and this next part here, I think, is a really, really important one, because there's a second part down there, right? Ratcliffe, look, he also wants to make major improvements at Old Trafford and Carrington, stating that his $300 million additional funding, which will be converted to equity, is only the start of his support. So by the end of this month, Jim Ratcliffe will actually own 29% of United once that goes. And I've said this in a video before, this is going to be the first time so the shares are going to be released by Manchester United. The Glazers are going to create more shares, dilute their ownership rather than selling any more directly. And for the first time ever, share sales will be invested back into Manchester United rather than just going straight into the pocket of the Glazers. Now, $300 million, nobody's pretending that is enough to fix the problems of our club. Truth be told, I think we need probably 5 to 6 times that amount. So to hear Jim Ratcliffe say, look, $300 million is there, but that is only the start of it. Again, hearing these things allows us to hold owners accountable. I mean, we don't know how close we're going to be able to ever get to them, whether they're really going to have accountability, that the Glazers just like disappeared to Florida whenever they wanted, which is the next bit that I'm talking about now. But to hear that that's the start, good. Now we have to make sure as a fan base that we make sure that we hold them to it. I don't know what we can do for that. So, but to hear, we've been waiting for information. We've been waiting for pledges. We've been waiting for promises, I suppose. And this is the start of it. Now there will be more for sure, but this is the start of it. Now this next part here, right, is something I completely agree with everybody with in the comments. Lots are carrying caution about how Ratcliffe would put his plans into practice. I've got those doubts as well. I don't think there's any United fan that doesn't have a little doubt, and maybe a lot of doubt, in the back of their mind about what Ratcliffe wants to do and what Ratcliffe is able to do. I don't doubt that Ineos want to get us back to that. Will they be able to do it? Do they have enough money to achieve that? I question that and I worry about it. But isn't it in stark contrast to Ratcliffe coming in the 25%, right? I don't know, just it's such a confusing time. We've gone from the concept of a full takeover to the Qataris to all the ins and outs and all the ups and downs of all of that, and then we've ended up with a 25% takeover where the Glazers still have majority ownership, but we've actually got a set of owners now in control of the football operations who are pledging this. Ratcliffe, Brailsford, Jean-Claude Blanc, Rob Nevin, the Ineos team pledged to be present at the club. And it's another step in the right direction. One of the greatest strengths of not greatest strengths, but the greatest assets of the Glazers from their own greedy perspective was their ability to just not even get on a plane because they never came over here. Just ignore it. Just stay in Florida and pretend like nothing's going on, because you don't have to be in amongst it. You don't have to listen to the noise. You just have to look at the end of the year and take your dividend out. It's like the world's best bank account. That's the way they looked at United. But Ineos are pledging to be more present. Again, it remains to be seen how present Ratcliffe will be, but he's got a whole team around him. I don't think he really needs to be when he's got Brailsford and Blanc and maybe Ashworth and maybe Mitchell and the whole team that is going to come in. Now, in terms of more information that we still want, of course, what's happening to the debt? What are the overall short, medium, and long-term visions of Ineos? What's going to be happening to Old Trafford? We need more information. And they said that more information will come out once the Premier League actually ratifies the takeover. But up until this point, this is as much as we're going to get. Jim Ratcliffe has pledged that the focus of Ineos will be on success rather than money. Doesn't mean he's not going to make any money, because success equals money, but it means everybody wins, rather than just the Glazers and their greedy ways. He's also pledged that Ineos will be more present in Manchester. He's also pledged that $300 million is only going to be the start of his support. So we've now got some information from Ineos on what they plan to do, right? And we've also got the greatest. How do these photos make Jim Ratcliffe look like 15 feet tall? Cass like, hello, how you doing up there? Look, more is needed. But this is the start. And this is the beginning. And if you can't see a positive in that, and you really are just so focused on being angry that we didn't get taken over by Qataris, and anything else that happens after is a failure and just another Glazer, then you do you, all right? I'm not going to sit here and pretend that this is a perfect situation. I've had to compromise on what I wanted, which was the Glazers gone. But to have them away from football in control, and to have Ineos in, who are pledging more money than 300 million, pledging that success is going to be their driver, and pledging a presence at Old Trafford, there's a few things there that the Glazers never did. First impressions are important. I feel like Jim Ratcliffe's made a good one here.